I'm Kelly Epperson with WPAQ 740 AM, and I'm sitting here with Tom Cook, who is running for the North Ward City Commissioner seat in the upcoming Mount Airy municipal election. This interview is brought to you by Mount Airy Downtown Inc., MAD. MAD Inc. is a 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to foster and stimulate economic growth and development within the city of Mount Airy's historic downtown area through a variety of strategies and activities. MAD Inc. is an award-winning North Carolina Main Street organization committed to historic preservation-based community revitalization. The MAD Inc. Board of Directors represents downtown property owners, business owners, residents, and civic leaders. The following questions will address downtown development issues that will affect the growth of the district in the coming years. Each of the 9 candidates for City Council has been invited to participate and will have an equal amount of time to answer the questions. The purpose of these interviews is to educate downtown stakeholders on the upcoming election and to encourage the citizens of Mount Airy to vote in the city municipal primary on October 8th, as well as the city municipal election on November 5th. More information on the upcoming election can be found through the Surry County Board of Elections. Question number 1. The Spencer's Economic Development Project obviously looms large, and there have been many criticisms about how the city has handled this complex project. As a potential future city commissioner, you will need to decide how best to move forward. Two-part question. The city owns the property and the buildings that will be left after the selective demolition of unsound structures occurs this fall. Now the two-part question. What specific steps do you think the city should now take to maximize the public benefit from this property? And how do you see those action steps affecting the downtown district?
Well, first of all, we've either spent or committed to spend over $3.5 million down there. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars hiring consultants trying to find a buyer, trying to determine a use for it. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars preparing it for its next purpose with very little success. Next thing I would do is I'd padlock it. I wouldn't spend another dime down there until we found somebody who's willing to use it or interested in it. I think draining money that can be used for other projects is not good for Mount Airy.
Question 2. Among the money spent on the Spencer's project, about $740,000 wasn't spent on the actual Spencer's property. $750,000 paid for much-needed repairs and replacements of decades-old sewers, water lines, and stormwater drainage under and around Willow and Oak Street. Essential infrastructure improvements needed to support existing properties, whether the city bought Spencer's or not. The water lines and sewers in downtown Mount Airy are some of the oldest in the city, with many areas dating back to 1905, and they are failing. A two-part question. Will you put repair, replacement, and rehabilitation of the downtown sewer and water systems at the top of your priorities for capital improvements? And if so, how should the city pay for it?
The city has already contracted with an individual to come up with a capital improvement plan. I believe his name is Doug Carter. He presented his first offering several weeks ago. He's identified $34 million worth of capital improvement equipment replacement needs. He's supposed to come back in November, and he's going to start prioritizing it. Most urgent to least urgent. I think we have to look at that first. Maybe downtown is the most urgent and should be tackled first, but we got to see what he has found out to be the most urgent and least urgent. How do you pay for it? He's also going to recommend multiple ways of increasing taxes and fees. Fees on water runoff, fees on garbage, fees on anything. The needs are so great, and after $1 million increase in our property taxes, There's not $1 left in the budget for capital improvement. I think the first thing we ought to do, instead of looking at how we can get more money out of the taxpayer, is let's find more efficient ways to provide the services that we are to the citizens of Mount Airy. We need to look at some budget control. And depending on how much we free up from that, we can make a decision on how to go forward.
Question 3. In 2013, Mount Airy joined the North Carolina Main Street Program, and Mount Airy Downtown Inc. was formed to manage the Main Street four-point approach to downtown revitalization: organization, economic vitality, design, and promotion. In the last 6 years, we have seen significant growth downtown, with 57 facades redone, 27 building rehabilitations, 15 public improvement projects, 68 net gain full-time jobs, 45 net gain part-time jobs, 27 net gain businesses, 14 business expansions, 23 housing units created, and over $3.2 million in public investment, with $15.6 million in private investment downtown. MAD's work and goals are based on downtown economic development strategies that encourage historic preservation-based downtown revitalization. Two-part question again. As a city commissioner, what would be your top priorities and goals for downtown over the next 4 years? How will those priorities support continued growth in the downtown district, which accounts for the largest concentration of property value in Mount Airy?
Well, first I want to compliment MSD and MAD. MSD was formed, I don't know, several decades ago. It's the best thing that Mount Airy ever did. It was fantastic. Downtown Mount Airy looks better now than it has in 40 years. I mean, it looks great. What people don't realize is the businesses in the MSD district pay an additional 21 cents of property tax for the money to do downtown improvements. When I was on the MSD board, we renovated the parking lot on Renfro between Moore and Oak, and we built the public restrooms, which everybody said was needed. But as far as city commissioners telling MAD or downtown Mount Airy or MSD what they should be doing, I would like them to tell us what we could do to work with them. They know more than we do. I would like to work with them, but they need to inform us.
Question 4. The following list of initiatives has been drawn from downtown needs and priorities identified by MAD, the North Carolina Main Street Center, and several studies that have been undertaken in recent years with tons of data, lots of maps, and many pages of citizen input. Examples: Vision Mount Airy Land Use Plan, 2004 West Side Development Master Plan, 2008 study on Spencer's Mill Complex, 2015 study on Hotel Convention Center feasibility, 2015 Mount Airy Comprehensive Plan, and the Mount Airy TDA study Strategic Direction 2020. Please simply react to each item on the list with either a thumbs up, meaning yes, I support this initiative, question mark, meaning I might support this initiative if provided more information or on a modified basis, or thumbs down, meaning no, I do not support this initiative. And please speak your answer. Take stock of city property and other assets that potentially could be monetized, sold, or leased.
Yes.
Identify infrastructure improvement needs and implement a plan to update aging and failing infrastructure.
Yes.
Work with the Tourism Development Authority and other community partners to support a wayfinding plan providing updated signage for vehicular and pedestrian traffic.
Yes.
Undertake a more detailed market analysis to better understand our retail trade area and identify growth opportunities that can be targeted.
Yes.
Develop a better more comprehensive parking plan to address the chronic shortage of downtown parking.
Yes.
Work with the community college and the public schools to promote and provide vocational and trade education and training.
Yes.
Provide greater support for a permanent farmers market.
Yes.
Update streetscapes, including burying overhead power lines.
Yes.
Develop public spaces, including pocket parks and a town commons.
Yes.
Continue greenway connections or expansions through the downtown area.
Yes.
Continue to support festivals and other events sponsored by nonprofit civic organizations.
Double yes.
In closing, please briefly elaborate on any of these topics and provide a closing comment.
All of these ideas are good ideas, but the first thing we've got to do is we got to fix our budget. You're not going to get anything done unless you got money to do it. Now, I'm not a politician, I'm a businessman, but I think that maybe that's what Mount Airy needs right now. I've always believed we needed a vibrant downtown, and downtown Mount Airy, like I say, it's the best it's been in 40 years. Some people have done a wonderful job down there. It looks better, it's more active, more things going on, but we've got to get the budget under control. People say, well, gee, we can't do this any cheaper. When I was on the school board, we built Mount Airy Middle School for $91 a foot, while another school board built a middle school for $120 a foot. We saved over almost $3 million to Surry County taxpayer. We need to look at the budget and look at ways to do things better.